Hi, this is Matt with the Cleary Company, and today we are at Home Source Custom Drapes and Blinds, and I'm here with Clara and Jeff. And thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
They recently remodeled their entire showroom, and we're really excited to kind of talk about everything they have to offer. They've been a wonderful partner for us and a great resource for our wonderful clients over the years. And with a new space like this, I think they're amply ready to roll out all kinds of new stuff. So we're excited to talk it through. Guys,
Awesome.
you mind telling us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, you want to go for it?
Sure, yeah. We've been in business around 20 years here in the Worthington Hills area of Columbus, and we're truly a family business. My parents started the business, and we're kind of the next generations here taking over. As the name states, we really focus on window treatments, custom draperies, blinds, shutters, just about any kind of option that the consumer would like these days. We really utilize our showroom here, as you'll see, to help find the best treatment for every client. We've got, I think, over 30 interactive displays where you can touch and feel all the fabrics and materials and really get a feel for how it could work and translate into your own home.
So Jeff, I think this space is just wonderful. I mean, there's so many cool things that I can't wait to see. And we got like some automated remotes that I'm very eager to play with. I actually grew up across the street in Worthington Hills.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
and
Cool.
so maybe if you could give our clients what is neat about this area is, I mean, I haven't been up here in a couple of years, but the landscape of this side of it is changing drastically. Could you give us just a good description of how we find your location? Because I think this is a place we want clients to come and see.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. So if you're coming from Columbus, we are 1 mile north of 270 on 315, kind of just 100 yards north of the Hills grocery store in the Worthington Hills neighborhood, and we're right next to the Swan dry cleaner here.
Okay. Well, so you guys have been in business for 22 years. How long have you guys been at this location, did you already?
So we've been in business for 15 years, but the owners have experience for about 22 years. They've been in the industry for that long and then kind of passed that knowledge down.
Wonderful.
15 years here. We actually doubled our square footage about 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow.
As the company's grown.
There's a lot of really cool things to show. And you guys are a family business. So you said the original owners, 22 years experience, and that's your guys' parents and
It's my parents.
My grandparents.
that's really cool. You all get to work
Claire's
together.
kind of like the third generation.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's awesome. You guys all get to
Yeah.
spend your days and work together, and I think it
Oh, it's so
shows
much
in
fun.
the client relationships you guys have. Was that said with any pause or
No,
anything? No? All right,
no.
awesome. Just teasing.
95% of the time.
95% of the time.
It's great every time. So, 2020 has been an interesting year for everybody in all walks of life and industries, and obviously we're all doing different things and kind of treating our approach differently. How have you guys changed up, if you have, your approach to keeping things, ensuring safety for clients, associates, and everybody in between?
Yeah, we're definitely doing the mask wearing for sure, especially in customer homes. That's really important. Most customers too, immediately go to put their face mask on, even in their own home as well. So they're all taking it pretty seriously. Just trying to keep things clean, and then the mask wearing is our big point.
Yeah.
And then when they're in the showroom, you have to have it. So
Right.
it keeps that
We,
safe.
and I wanted to add, when we first opened back up, because like a lot of businesses, we were closed for a period of time.
Yeah.
We offered virtual appointments, and that's something that if somebody's at all apprehensive about coming out and coming into the showroom, that's something we can definitely still offer. We can do a FaceTime or whatever, and kind of virtually show them the products, and it can really be helpful to answer questions, and it's kind of the next best thing to actually coming in here. So that's something that we can easily accommodate.
That's fantastic. We, for a time, and even still, have pivoted to a similar idea with Zoom calls and sharing screens and all that with some of our clients. And we have some that we believe like maybe a part of this never goes away, just because the hustle and bustle of daily life allows, if somebody can get on a screen, it's 5 minutes versus, a trip is much longer. So, but I think this is a place worth seeing for sure. What would you specifically like your clients to know about this new showroom? Anything key to know?
So the great thing about the showroom is we get a lot of people who call in and they, are not 100% sure what they're looking for right away. A lot of people don't even know a full range of product offerings or haven't seen products like it before. So, if you don't know exactly what you want before we come out to the home and do an in-home appointment, we really encourage stopping into the showroom and just seeing everything there is to offer and just kind of pointing out to us what you like, what you don't like, what kind of functions you like, because especially with the names of all of the different operating systems, it can become really confusing. So just saying like, okay, here's the actual operation to what Light Rise is versus Ultra Glide versus Easy Rise. So it gives them a lot of names for functionality instead of trying to keep it straight in their head. So we find it's really helpful to stop in here first, and then we continue the appointment at home, bringing hand samples, bringing fabric books out so that you can actually see it in your space. But starting here is kind of the foundation to that.
Seems like a wonderful place to start. There's a lot to learn, and this is why we send our clients to you guys. Is you're the subject matter experts, and
Thank you.
There's a lot to have expertise about, and a lot of really neat things people can do with window treatments.
Definitely.
And so, what would you say in this ever evolving year and time that clients are most excited about right now?
You kind of touched on it, but motorization is a big one. I've been with the company for close to 15 years, and I've seen that portion of our business really grow from when I started to maybe 10% of our treatments were motorized, and now it's upwards of 50%. So the fact that you can control them with that handheld
50%.
remote, yeah.
Wow.
We're getting there, yeah.
So. Will we get to play with this handheld remote at some point today? All right, awesome. I'm excited about that. What do we as remodelers need to know or kind of prep our clients for with regards to kind of this new automation?
Automation. Yeah, because it's not just motorization. It's automation is actually a little bit more appropriate because not only can you use the remote, but you can use the phone. You can use smart home devices. Google and Alexa, and control them there. And
really?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got that set up in our showroom. So and there's some good planning that can be involved to make things go a little smoother as a remodeler. If you are doing an addition, certainly if you have open walls, that's a great opportunity to run wires to your windows and never have to worry about batteries on your motorized coverings.
So there's an opportunity, when we're remodeling to get is it low voltage wires?
Yeah, it's just
that we need to get there.
Just low voltage.
Okay.
So it really, it's a pretty small expense up front there, and most people love it. It just gives you more reliability and less headaches down the road with worrying about batteries and things like that.
So let's say, for instance, we're doing an addition project, right? And we have our clients like, I want to go full automation in the home, not just in the area that we're, adding square footage. It sounds like is there a hybrid approach as well for people who are, hey, I don't want to tear up all my drywall in the non-affected remodeled areas.
Definitely.
So that is something that a lot of the different manufacturers offer?
Yes. Well, so it's really all the same system. It just depends on how it's powered. So, if you're doing a remodel addition or, walls are open, you can add that power source in there. But if people don't want to touch a space and don't want to open any walls or anything like that, you can still battery power them or rechargeably battery power them. And it would still all work together on the same system.
Oh, wonderful. And so you say system. Does that mean that there's like the opportunity with Hey Google, Hey Alexa, all that, to open it with a voice command? But how about like scheduling things?
Absolutely.
Thinking of that dramatic sunrise opening of the shades that we all dream about. So.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So it's like a hub that works with an app on your phone, and they all kind of interconnect, and you can have it where you can set them for either times. I have it in my home where the automation comes in when I turn off my alarm, my skylight opens. So that's just a different level to it. So you can basically think of just the motorization with the remote, or adding this extra level of the hub home automation, and that can start taking it to the voice commands, the scheduling, all of the more intricate stuff like that.
That's really cool. What type of expectations should clients have if maybe initially coming in they weren't thinking about automation, but they see it and they're like, that might be something I absolutely need. Is this at this point in the industry, is that maybe you're talking about doubling the price point, or is it not even
doubling.
that effective?
No, not for most of our products. It could add 30% in some cases.
That's very reasonable.
To the price of a window treatment. But there are also very practical applications for it. There's energy efficiency aspects. You can save on your heating and cooling bill when you actually really do some smart programming and let the sun heat your home in the winter and keep the heat out in the summer. I mean, it's
now you're talking my
tangible
language.
benefit.
Yeah, it is. You wouldn't think about that, but during the day when somebody's not home to change things and raise and lower fixtures, that if it's automated, that can be done, and I'm sure there's quite a savings eventually.
Yeah, they can, and this technology can tie in with things like Nest thermostat. So if you reach a certain temperature threshold, your shades can automatically go down.
Really?
There's some smart concepts.
Are you interested?
I got to call my wife after this. What a time to be alive. That's amazing.
There's also applications in a lot of situations with, especially new builds in Columbus, have these massive 2-story family rooms that you just physically cannot reach them. So just at least having motorization in those is really popular.
Yeah, I have a project that I'm working on in mind right now that we might have to talk about after this.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Could you show us some of your most popular product offerings and kind of give us a tour around this very cool space?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
So since we're over here, we can kind of start here. I would say a popular product offering is the modern Roman shade, the vignette.
Okay.
So you can see here that it's kind of in a position where it does the top down, bottom up. It also has a popular functionality where it's just cordless and you move it on its own. Here with your hand.
Oh, that's really nice.
So it is like a dressier product, but we find that it's really popular in a little bit more of a traditional space or bedrooms where you're trying to soften things up. Maybe on windows you're not necessarily putting a lot of other fabric on. This one can be a really great option.
Now, this is that's a soft kind of, it's just a very pretty nice fabric. What kind of spectrum of colors and offerings does this offer in terms of the fabric?
So, there are dozens and dozens of options for fabric, and then in most fabrics you have different colors and things like that. So it gives you a lot of options. We can pretty much find something for any space, and then even within that fabric book, you then can take it to a Lustre fabric. So if people are having a really hard time finding something, then it goes even to a next step of more intricate and custom looking fabrics.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I'll add to that. It's one of my favorite product lines because consumers today are doing a little bit less of the draperies and soft treatments. So I love this because the fabric collection has the richer fabrics, the textures, and you can make a statement without doing the traditional drapery panels and things like that, and bring softness and sound absorption and things like that into a room. In a very modern, kind of sleek way. Yeah,
well, and that's, when you think of that kind of minimalist approach and you start to, I think, immediately go to those automation components, but I see a remote in your hand, so are there going to be any
along the vignette back there, that's the same product line, that's motorized, so with the touch of a button, we can just start to put that up.
Whoa.
And you can see how nice and consistent the stack is, and we can stop it somewhere.
That's beautiful. What's really cool is you get that classic, like you said, look, but back to some of the efficiencies and value that's brought on by that automation. That's really cool.
Yeah, and so that's, we've got over a dozen products, and we don't have to necessarily touch on every one, but just kind of some of the key.
Yeah.
Roman shades is a big offering. Maybe to transition, the one below there is kind of like a more of what I would call a two-function product. That one's called Pirouette, and it's one of Hunter Douglas's coolest offerings. It's a Roman shade that actually opens the veins. So you'll see that it was in the open position. Now it's closed.
Oh, wow.
So it functions like a Roman, except for, of course, it can go up and down. But yeah, it has that additional feature to give some filtered view through.
That's very cool.
And you can stop it in any position. So like, really unique. It's a proprietary product from Hunter Douglas. There's really nothing else like it on the market.
That is very unique.
So there's.
It definitely gives the nice decorative aspect of the Roman with the folding while still being able to see through it, which for a lot of people, especially with views or really big windows with a lot of natural light, is super important.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. How does a product like this, because it has some of that view you can get from a traditional blind, but obviously it's much different and more elegant. With fabrics like this, how does a window treatment product potentially, or does it potentially help with not just light, but maybe some value in terms of noise canceling or anything of that nature? Do any of these products kind of speak to that or offer that?
To a degree, the noise canceling. Some of our products have multiple layers, so they can help with sound absorption. And if you have a busy road near your home, you can reduce it to a degree. Something like a multi-layered fabric or even a shutter. We did a place down at the corner of Jewett and 315.
Oh yeah, I know that area.
A historical place there, and they were getting a lot of road noise, and they put shutters, and it did help.
Yeah.
So that other than shades, there are other options that could help a little bit.
I think a lot of those historical projects, we've been doing more and more, and a lot of work in the German Village area, and my wife and I, we used to live there, and it's such a fun area. But what's good is also can be what's bad. And your front room can be 5 feet away from the sidewalk, and you can hear people talk that you're not allowed to maybe change the type of window you have necessarily. Right. But something like this at least helps give a little bit more feeling of privacy is really cool.
Sure, and layers can help too. So you can do a shade, and then you can we've got a custom drapery area over there where you can do a heavily lined drapery to really pull and really add that additional layer. That will certainly help when you put multiple layers on a window.
So speaking of layers, this is kind of an off the cuff question, but I see almost with some of these fabrics, is there a difference in the ability to kind of shade light versus block light completely, kind of that blackout blind?
Yeah, and actually I wanted to touch on this next one we have over here, because it is about the most versatile window treatment that we've ever carried. It has really 4 options for your window, and so this is number 3. So we'll start with nothing.
Nothing. Full view.
We'll start
full
with
view.
You have a full view here.
And the golf course view comes with it? Or?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
You provide the golf course view, we'll provide.
So of course you can have it. It's got a relatively small header here, and pretty much your beautiful window or view is unobstructed. Then you can push a button and have the main shade come down. And this is going to give full privacy during the day or night, okay? And block about 99% of UV into the room, but still let some light come in, so it's not going to be dark. Then the third option is we can open those veins. Now you get your view back.
Yeah.
And you get daytime privacy. At night this would not be private, but you get daytime privacy in this position, and filter about 87% of UV still. So that's important with furniture and flooring and things like that. You get a level of protection while you can still see out. But then this is so this product is Silhouette, and a few years ago, Hunter Douglas came out with a really nice addition to this. This is the way it was for about 25 years. Then they added a secondary room darkening liner behind that. It's all part of the same shade. There's just one motor on this shade. But now you can take that same room and make it very, very dark with an additional push of the remote.
For the night shift doctors, people of the world who are up all night and maybe need to sleep during the day, that's a really fantastic option.
It does a lot in a still a pretty attractive treatment, and same with all our products. There's a large selection.
So you mentioned roller shades. That kind of brings me to my next question. Is there anything you display in the showroom that kind of touches more on that minimalist approach? That's kind of what you think of when you think minimalist. These are gorgeous, but for somebody who has that maybe more contemporary feel,
I'm glad you asked that because that's Clara's specialty.
Clara, all right.
I really like roller shades. We can head over there. Yeah. So these are going to be definitely more contemporary for the minimalist vibe. You have a lot of different functionality offerings, and then is there the blue remote? So Jeff was touching a little bit on, duo light or duo rollers and things like that. So you have, products that offer, more privacy while still allowing light in, and then really easy functionality to them. You can add cassettes at the top. You can have an exposed roller if you're looking for more of an industrial look. A lot of people do these cassettes just to kind of give it a finished touch to it. It comes traditionally with a more chain functionality here, but then there are a lot of operating upgrades to it, and then of course motorization as well. So you can see down here that these have liners that drop back behind them like the duo light does, that we just looked at in the Silhouette. So for this, when they go up, you still have that minimal style, but then you have the capability to have more room darkening for the screen shade. That does not offer as much nighttime privacy, so having that liner behind it is really important, if especially it's in a more private space. But then having all of those up as well give you that complete window look. A lot of people who do roller shades are, looking for something that they're going to actually keep up a lot of the time, because they have either really great views or they really just like having open windows, and then they tuck all the way up completely into their cassettes.
Yeah, I love how sleek some of this can become. Yeah. And sort of out of that line of sight when you don't want it, but then they're very much there when you need it. Some of this stuff is really thought-provoking and gorgeous. Yeah. What should our clients... I see all these different types of shades and they're so versatile. What should our clients expect in terms of the install process? When people are actually in their home putting these things up, is there any difference between any of these products, and just generally speaking, what should they expect?
Absolutely. So install is a really great question, and we've got a great install team that really takes care of everything. So when you purchase window treatments through us, like installation is included in that price. All of our installers, work for Home Source. They're, master or Hunter Douglas master installers, so they've been trained on how to put all of these products in. Did I say they work for Hunter Douglas? They work for Home Source Interiors.
Are they also all a part of the family, or the big family?
They're not technically related to us, but they're just as much part of the family. So basically, if you order a window treatment, we're going to be evaluating as salespeople the kind of window you have, where we're going to put that treatment in that window, how much space that we have to mount it, either within the window or on top of it. So we take care of looking at all of that and then indicate to our installers how that goes. Those are conversations we're having with the customer before they purchase something. And then, once it's purchased, once it comes in, our install team would we just set up a time, they come out, they take care of all of it. Most of these products, they're easy to get in and remove, if you ever need it to be fixed or anything like that, but they take care of installing all the brackets, putting it in, making sure it operates, and then most importantly, showing you how to use it.
Yeah, no, I would say that would be the most important part with some of this is how do you use it? What kind of time frame should clients sort of expect? Obviously, I know that's relative to, let's say it's a whole home. Are we talking a day, a week?
It actually kind of depends less on the amount that you're ordering and more of what kind of product you're ordering.
Okay,
And I'm
fair.
sure, being in a remodeling situation, you guys are experiencing industry delays right now as well. So
Yes.
products like the vignette that we looked at can come in much, much quicker than products like wood blinds. Those are taking a little bit longer right now. So you could really be looking at the product range of anywhere between 3 or 4 weeks to maybe 10 or 12 weeks,
Gotcha.
depending on what you order. And that's what we talk about with the customer. If somebody's in a pinch, it may affect them. There are things like ready shades you can put up if you're looking for privacy in the meantime. But those are all conversations we have depending on the product you're looking at.
Okay. And
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were asking the actual installation.
I think I
time
was
as
speaking
well.
to that, but your answer brings me to a very good next
Yeah.
question. But actual installation
Yeah,
time. What are
most projects are 1 to 2 days at the most.
Okay. Yeah.
If you just have a room, it could be a matter of hours, couple hours. So it's in most situations, it's not an overwhelming process. Our installers usually keep things very clean. We're typically one of the last people to come into the job site.
Sure.
And so usually if we're installing a room or a few rooms, it's just 2-3 hours up to 6 hours. to
Okay.
a full day.
That's my reason for the question is not as much for our clients, but for us, as we want to try and make things as turnkey as we can for them. That includes the partners that we work with, and sort of making sure that we plan accordingly. So if we're doing an addition, or we know we're talking about specific window treatments or automation, that we're getting in front of you guys, getting over to this showroom with our clients, sounds like early and often to make those decisions, and then can schedule you guys to come install really at any point when we're kind of to a trim level.
Yeah, sometimes if we have your treatments in, we'll hold on to them in our warehouse until you're ready, because you want to make sure the majority of the mess is cleaned up and
probably most dust gone.
Because with fabrics and things that makes sense. So.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. What have I not asked you guys about that we should see in this design center?
There's one thing I'd like to touch on.
Yeah.
Well, 2 more, maybe the shutters, and on our way to our custom draper area. But
Let's go take a look.
Shutters is one of our most popular product lines, so I think it's worth taking a moment over here. And I think one of them is even motorized. So we have 3 shutter lines from Hunter Douglas. This is our most popular, our new style hybrid shutter. With the popularity of white and gray, this is a very popular line. The reason it's called hybrid is because it has wood in the frame for stability. It's made with dovetail joints, so it's got wood for stability.
Yeah.
But then there's a synthetic coating, which actually is finer than most. Most
This
wood
feels like a
finishes.
lot of our cabinets almost.
Yeah, so it doesn't hold as much dust
Okay.
as some traditional blinds and things like that.
These are gorgeous.
Yeah, so these are a beautiful addition to a lot of rooms, and there's different sizes. You can take a room where there's no frame to the window, and the shutters come with an optional frame, so you can get that framed window look just when you order your shutters. So that's the new style, and then we have our Heritance. This is our true hardwood shutter. This has this handcrafted feature as well, where you get the distressing and the
some of the knots through here. Yeah.
There's various process we can use for these to really give a custom look.
These are like cabinets for your windows almost.
Yeah,
So this is
furniture for the windows.
furniture for the. Yeah. When would you maybe suggest something like this versus a shade or a blind? Or is it just an aesthetic choice?
It's mainly a preference. Shutters are like a lifetime product too. They hold up very, very well over time. You can open and close the louvers. I would just obviously it's kind of a permanent fixture
Sure.
on your window. So some people prefer shade that can go up, like we discussed, and get
Gotcha.
out of the way.
Yeah.
But these make quite a statement in a
They do.
room. And I've seen in Columbus, I've seen the popularity of these really grow over the years. It's just there's nothing like a room decorated with shutters.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
then there's that one, and then our last shutter product is completely synthetic, and that one is called Palm Beach, and it's probably our least used, but it does have a certain situations call for that.
Sure.
High humidity and temperature variance. It's guaranteed not to warp or fade, and you put it in a bathroom or a garage area.
Yeah. Maybe that unconditioned 3-season room or sunroom.
I've even put them out on patios, open patios, where it might be subjected to rain and wind and things like that, and they hold up pretty well.
Really?
in that,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So even adding maybe some privacy to, let's say, a screened porch, and
Yeah,
if you could
absolutely.
manage to get the frames in. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So, and then the other thing with shutters, we get contacted every week for special T-shaped windows, non-rectangular windows, and shutters have some beautiful options for that. Some of our other products do also, but you can see a few of those.
Oh goodness! Now I've got another project I'm thinking about. All right.
Yeah. So shutters are really a really nice option.
All right. This is a whole nother world over
Yeah,
here.
Now we're entering into the world of drapery, custom
Custom drapery.
treatments.
Okay.
So we do. Do you want to talk about this, Clary, or talk about the workroom a little?
I can talk about the workroom, sure.
I can't do it, so I need
yeah.
one of you guys. Tell us all about
So,
this. This is gorgeous. A lot of these
This side is
products
getting
are-
away from Hunter Douglas. This is going to be
Okay.
our custom workroom. So you can see we've got a lot of examples in here of things that we can do. You're looking at, drapery panels, traversing draperies, cornice boards, valances, things like that.
Yeah.
Hardware as well to go with those. Our install team, is great at, installing these as well. We have a custom workroom with a seamstress who basically just does all of this custom. We've got over
Really?
10,000 fabrics in our fabric library from various different suppliers there. So really, our custom appointments definitely start in our showroom with our custom designer. We really, it's almost impossible to know exactly what kind of job as soon as you go out to someone's home without getting an idea
Right.
of what they're looking for. So we start here, we get pointed in the right direction as far as style. We start looking at fabrics, usually give people a rough idea of how much something like that would cost with some rough measurements and things like that from the consumer. And then we go into the home with the fabrics, we start showing them that, and then we get a quote up for them and then start on that project.
So this is, people can come in here and get an incredibly unique
Yeah.
design
Exactly.
and custom treatment to their window that I don't know that you can find it really anywhere else.
One of a
That's
kind,
very
so,
cool.
Yeah.
So there's a shop on site, or is it
Not on site.
Okay.
Our custom workroom is like 10 minutes from here,
Very
and
cool.
that's where our seamstress Jill, she works out of, and she does all of it. So she's a
That's
really
so
key
cool.
member to the team, and she literally starts this from scratch.
That takes a very special touch. My nana
Yes.
was a seamstress, and it just takes a special person.
It's not
special
something I
touch.
could do.
No, God, no, I couldn't
Yeah,
even.
I can't even make like a no-sew pillow. So.
Well, these are gorgeous. Anything specific in here in terms of like special fabrics, ways people could use some of this product to better their life?
Yeah, so some of the most popular things we see are just side panel draperies where they're not necessarily meant to traverse across the window. They're just there for the decorative aspect to add a little bit of texture, dimension. They are great. You were talking about soundproofing, from the outside, but they are really great for the inside with sound control. So if
Yeah.
you've got a more open industrial space, a lot of wood, more hard textures like brick or something, they're great for sound absorption. And then also just adding that decorative element. If you are looking at traversing draperies, that's like where the true room darkening lies. So you can get room darkening in the window treatments over there, but if you are a cave sleeper, like a blackout drapery is your bread and butter.
Okay, wonderful. And when it gets to the point of picking, do you guys have some? Do you have some somebody helps kind of consult on the design of things.
Yeah.
I see a wall of fabrics back here that's
Yeah.
intimidating to, I think, anybody.
Exactly.
Me.
If
Yeah.
you walk back there, you're probably going to be like, I don't even know where to start. But those are broken up, you know, by colors and choices like that. So basically, once we get an idea of what you're looking for, what your, you know, design elements in that space are, we would start pulling suggestions and then just only putting the things that we think would be good in front of you.
Wonderful.
And then kind of getting, you know, an idea if we're going in the right direction. And so a lot of people, you know, start flagging fabrics. We can order samples of those so that you can make sure you can see them in your home, compare them to your furniture, and things like that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Did I do okay?
You did great.
I
Okay.
think you guys are great. Well, guys, Jeff, Clara,
Yes.
thank you so much for having us out today. We really
Thank you.
appreciate you guys. And to anybody watching, Home Source Custom, Drapes and Blinds
Yes.
off of 315, right across from the wonderful Worthington Hills neighborhood. Come check them out.
Thank you.
Lisa?